Good evening, Central Indiana. Welcome back to our latest edition of Sports Nuts on Porch Time. We have in studio tonight two guests from the Indiana Cutters semi-pro football team based here in Indiana. Welcome to the show, guys.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
Thanks.
So, introduce yourself. Give me your position, your role. Go ahead.
Yeah, Eric Anderson. I'm the head coach of the team. I've been with the team for a while now, and I actually also coordinate the defense.
Okay.
So defensive coordinator, head coach.
Okay.
Nick Land, outside linebacker, and actually the president of the organization. And I've been with the team since the very beginning, 2007.
2007. Wow. So, what league do you guys play in?
BCFL.
And what's the BCFL?
That's the Blue Collar Football League. Teams in Indiana and Ohio.
Okay.
Geography there.
And
some Kentucky teams, actually, too.
No one likes Kentucky.
Hey, you said it, not me.
Yeah. So you said you've been with the team since its inception?
Yes, sir.
So how does a team get started? If you wanted to join the BCFL, how does that start? How does that come about?
So this is not the first league we've been in. We've been in several different leagues over the years. Usually leagues run their course, maybe 5 or 6 years. They die, new ones pop up. So this league has actually courted us for a few years. They've wanted us to join for several years now, and we just thought it was time. This is a league that's kind of a little bit top-notch teams, a little bit higher than what we're used to.
Okay.
So they're all the teams are very competitive. There's no off weeks. As far as like gimme games, every team is competitive. So it's a step up, and I thought we were ready for the challenge, so we moved into the BCFL.
So you joined that, yeah.
Yeah.
So then to compete in a league like that, you have to have a good offensive line, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah, we got a lot of young men that make up that line. I see Hunter's up there commenting.
No, Hunter. I got bad knees, bad hips, bad back, slow feet. No, I'm not suiting up anytime. I struggle with fantasy football. I couldn't play anything close to real football. So we were talking earlier off air. You said it's NFL rules essentially.
Yeah, NFL rules. A few modifications here and there, but mostly NFL rules. They try to emulate that as much as they can.
So, is there a mercy rule? Does it come into effect ever? Are the games ever get out of hand where guys get hurt and it gets away from you, or you start hammering another team?
A mercy rule would just mean running clock. Usually, there's
Okay.
not like a 10-run rule, but if things are getting out of hand, the refs will run the clock and get everybody home safe. Everybody's got to work Monday or whatever, but for the most part, there's no mercy rule. And Saturday was last Saturday was an example of that. I mean, we were down a lot at one point. We came back, ended up being a pretty tight game. So that's a full NFL clock. A lot can happen.
Nice. So, you have to find the officials, schedule the officials, the facilities, all that. Take me through that. Like, where are your home games played?
We play our home games at Martinsville High School.
Okay.
We didn't play there last year, but a couple years before we did. So we've got a good relationship with Kip over there and the staff as well. But yeah, there's a lot of logistics that go into it. We talk to so many different home fields and high schools and different things to get up to that point. You got to raise funds. You got to recruit players, refs. We have actually good relationship with our refs that they've been working with us for a while, so that's easy. But yeah, there's a ton that goes into it behind the scenes. He can attest to a lot of it as well. Just not everybody realizes that, but like anything good, there's a lot of behind the scenes action. Yeah.
So Mackenzie Bailing says, "We love the Cutters. Wishing my husband could have played this year with you guys again."
Yeah, her husband's Jeremy. He was out with us. He coaches at Monrovia High School.
Okay.
And had kind of a freak injury at a practice and was not able to kind of suit back up and come back yet, at least. So, yeah, we wish he could be out there too, Mackenzie.
So, speaking of that, where do you practice?
We practice at Mooresville Youth Football, like that complex there. It's right by the League of Miracles we were talking about.
We talked about that a little bit earlier.
Yeah, nice little field over there. Grass fields, but it's kind of like a center point because we've got players all the way to Bloomington and down into Bedford even. and then we've got players north of Indy. We even got players that come from Ohio.
Really?
So that's just kind of a nice little center area to get everybody together.
So how do you end up with? So a couple questions: how do you mesh everyone together, and how do you not end up with 7 quarterbacks and no center or no?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. Well, there's a lot that goes into that. I mean, a lot of expectations have to be set. A lot of conversations have to be had. But for the most part, the cool thing about semi-pro is the guys want to be there. They want to be a part of a team. They want to be coached. So, when they come with that kind of mindset, it does make it a little bit easier. But yeah, absolutely. Everybody wants to be in the key positions. Luckily, though, we're blessed. We've got a lot of good OD linemen and that don't complain about it, that love to be in the trenches. So I'm not really complaining.
Yeah. So how do you find players? Do players contact you more than you find them, or do you go find players?
It's a mix, I would say. We're fortunate enough to be with the Cutters, which is a long-time organization. I've coached for a little while, so we do have a core of guys that have been with us.
Okay.
And that's kind of where we start. But we hit high school graduates, college, maybe players that played a year in college didn't finish college or something didn't finish playing in college. We even like Nick here. He played 4 years of college ball and then joined the Cutters after. So it's really a wide range. Then you'll get guys that, hey, they maybe played in high school, whether it's grades or just circumstances in life. They didn't even get a chance to go to college, even though they may have been good enough. So we'll get some of those players too.
Yeah, I would feel that there's a lot of. I feel like it's easy to get overlooked in recruiting if you don't get yourself in front of the right people. You'd still be a good player, still have some skills, and just not get found. This is an outlet for guys like that to still play.
Absolutely, and we've been a platform for people to, that maybe are coming out of high school. They got to get things taken care of, and then they go on to play college ball as well. A handful of players like that as well.
So this doesn't impact eligibility?
Does not, no.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like recreation. This is a recreation league at the end of the day. Semi-pro, no one's getting paid or anything like that. So
okay.
It's recreation and doesn't affect eligibility at all.
Okay.
So it allows them a chance to get some more game film, and it's legitimate game film because it's against competitive men, which is what they would, get into in college.
That's a good question too. What's the age range? Like, what's the oldest player on your team?
Probably myself.
Really?
Yeah.
And how old are you?
41.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Wow, I would not guess that. I would not guess that.
But we've got 18-year-olds too, so about 18 to how old was Fur last year?
Fur was 59.
Yeah,
really?
he only made it a couple games, but he got out there and got to hit some people.
What position?
He was D-line / tight end essentially.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm assuming gigantic.
He's tall, but he's not like huge.
Not ripped or anything.
Yeah.
Huh. That's
He had the heart though. I mean,
he definitely had the heart.
If you're not afraid, you go out there and you just like any sport, but especially this one when limited practice and stuff, you can get out there and hold your own, no doubt.
That's what I think. I think the hardest thing is to turn the competitiveness off. Like, for a kid that goes 4 years in high school and then doesn't get to play in college, still wants to compete, still has competitiveness, and there's no outlet for that. I think this is great for that.
There's a lot to be said for that. I mean, even myself as a coach, it's an outlet for me too.
Yeah.
Just to get out with the guys and play football, a game that we all love, is it can do a lot of positivity for your life, and it's not easy. It's not easy because you're still out there playing a contact sport with men. But at the end of the day, I think everybody gets a lot of value out of it because of that outlet piece you're talking about there.
I've heard Bob say a lot of times that kid needs football more than football needs that kid, and I feel like when he said that, it made me think for a little bit, and it's like I get what he's saying. It makes sense, and this probably is similar to that. Where they have some commitment, some camaraderie, some accountability with other guys to show up and be there and do their part.
Yeah, I mean that's part of what I love about football. Anyways, you get that camaraderie and that chance to form a brotherhood, if you will. It's like a second family to a lot of people. So we emphasize that. We love that culture thing and being able to provide that camaraderie for all of our guys.
How many people on the team? How many players?
We're gonna have in 2 weeks our roster's locked. We're gonna have a full 53 guys NFL roster.
Really?
Yep. We dressed 51 Saturday.
Wow. So buy your own equipment, own helmet, own pads. You guys, or does the team provide equipment?
Uniforms.
Okay.
We provide uniforms. Bob helps out too, and other teammates will donate equipment. A lot of people have extra equipment. We'll give it to people that need it. Bob donated some helmets, some shoulder pads. So we always have a little extra, but for the most part, everybody's bringing their own.
Okay. And what is Bob's role? Is he OC?
Yeah, but we brought Bob on this year as OC. Yeah, we
he's-
recruited him a little bit and got him to buy in, and it's been awesome having him on board.
Does he know anything about offensive line?
You know what? I don't know because I haven't bugged him. I'm assuming he does. I'm gonna let him operate. But absolutely he does, and that's another thing I was talking about guys earlier wanting to be coached. We got a lot more O-line this year at practices because they're getting good coaching, and that's huge for our team.
Yeah. And then Hunter says Seth's nervous about making the final cut.
Should be.
He's on the chopping block.
Yeah.
Should be. No one's safe.
To get some extra reps with Bob. Get some of Bob's knowledge.
Hey, Seth's put in some great work this year. He might make it above the line, but he's in. I was telling him the other day he's in probably the best shape of his life, and you can tell on film.
Really?
Getting out. 30 yards downfield, trying to block downfield and stuff. That stuff shows up on film, and he's doing some of that. So real happy with Seth about that.
So how many local guys do you have? You said you got all over. So give me some people that we would know around this community.
Yeah. So Martinsville, we got Hunter Stout, Seth Mackin, Travis Griffey. We have another one.
I don't think so. Not a Martinsville guy.
Yeah.
Any Mooresville?
Mooresville? I don't think so. We've got a few Plainfield.
Okay.
Jacob Bird, Mason Scott, Dylan Ponder, some gentlemen that played at Plainfield. Got a really good handful of people from Bloomington as well. Yeah,
Bob and Landon Martin.
Yeah, Landon's a new assistant this year too. He's played O-line in high school, so he's kind of Bob's translation when Bob's with QBs and stuff. You got Landon helping the O-line as well.
The thing with Bob is he just likes to compete, and it doesn't matter what it is. And so I know from being around Bob, when the juices get going, he's all in. So
yeah,
it's always fun to be. Play golf with Bob, and it'll be an innocent, no money on the line. And you'll be standing over putt, and he'll say, "I think that breaks a little more than you think." It just throws that little doubt in there, that little seed, that little jab. So
psychological part in competition, that's huge.
Yeah, and that's Bob's probably favorite part of that is that little jab in there. So how far do you travel? I know you said you go in Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky. How far? Where's your farthest game?
Columbus, Ohio this year would be our farthest.
So about 3.5, 4 hours?
Yeah, about 3.5, I think.
And how do you travel there?
Well, that game's a little bit later, so we do have some money in the budget. We're just not to that point yet, but we're hoping we're going to at least take a van or maybe even a bus.
Okay.
We've taken bus trips before, like charter bus, but for the most part, default is everybody drives. We carpool and whoever can hop in wherever and get as many people there as you can.
Get yourself there.
Yeah.
And then what fundraisers what do you do for fundraising?
So a big thing that we do is sponsors. Just we provide marketing for teams or for companies that want to sponsor us.
Okay.
We release a game day guide every Saturday that has all our sponsors in it. All our sponsors are on the website. We give them mentions on social media at the game, that type of thing. In the past, we've held silent auction. We've done a youth camp before.
Okay.
Most of the time we do that for free, but then people usually donate. What's some other fundraisers?
The silent auction thing was really good. We did at Yogi's one year.
Yeah, the old Yogi's before it moved.
Yeah. I think we've done that a couple times. I think we did that at McCree's one time when that was a thing in Bloomington.
Yeah.
But I don't think we've ever done like a car wash or anything like that. We've definitely had a lot of sponsorships just from people donating to the team.
Okay.
So that's typically the main way we get money.
Local businesses want some advertisement.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes. Not if you drive like your dad. So, and you said NFL rules, so 4 15-minute quarters.
Yep.
So 2 feet inbounds. What about don't you think the catch rule in the NFL is obnoxious? Like,
The 2 feet in and all that stuff.
Well, just like if he got his hand under it or rolled up. I mean, it's like
Yeah. It's modified, so our refs are pretty lenient.
yeah.
If you make a good play, they're going to give you the benefit of the doubt.
So yeah.
So it's NFL rules, but
with some adjustment.
with some high school refs.
I gotcha. There you go. That's a good way to put
Yeah.
it. That's a good way to say it.
It's
So-
just solid though. The one cool thing about our league is that they have. I know they started the year with all the refs in a conference call. The league's very involved with the reffing because you can obviously in any sport you can go get homered.
Sure.
And they try to limit that. So that was one thing I really like about our new league is they're very hands on with the refs. They're making sure that as much as they can, it's consistent throughout the league. So it's pretty cool.
Do you know Coach Gillen very well?
And I obviously know of him. I don't know him that well. I know Casey a little bit, but not the older Coach Gillen. No.
If you get a chance to talk to him, we had him on, and he told a story that he played in a league similar to this 50 years ago.
Yeah,
and
Bob said that. Yeah.
Yeah, and they played a team, and it came down to the last couple plays, and they won. Well, the team that lost thought they got homered. They burnt the bleachers down on the way out of the stadium.
Wow.
Gillen tells it a lot better because he knows all the details. But if you ever get to talk to Casey or to Coach Gillen, you got to hit him up about that story because it was great. I don't remember all the details, but he basically said they thought they got cheated, and
Yeah.
so they burnt the bleachers down.
Man, I'd like to say I'm surprised, but that sounds right.
Does
That
it-
sounds like it could happen.
It's
Does
very semi-pro-ish.
Yeah. Does it get chippy?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Guys start getting competitive. It starts getting late in the game. Scores tight.
Sure.
Start-
We've been blessed to kind of stay away from anything that gets crazy.
yeah.
But yeah, it's football. It's men that are hopped up on adrenaline. Coaches, probably refs included. It's
Sure.
pretty intense environment.
You take the hits below the knee very seriously. I mean, that's kind of, I'm sure, an unwritten rule that you just don't do that.
I would say yes and no. I mean, they do take it seriously, yes, but there's still guys out there trying to hurt guys.
Yeah.
I mean, it's football. You got to keep. I always tell, we always give the linemen, the O linemen on interception, we give them the head on a swivel talk.
Because somebody's hunting them.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah.
You're getting hunted. If your head's not on a swivel, you're next.
Yeah.
Kickoff and different things are bad for that too. But the new NFL rules have now bled over into us, so the blindside blocks and all that stuff's illegal. And
No wedges, On kickoffs.
technically no wedges. Yeah,
but probably hard to enforce.
yeah. We don't really teach that anyway. So it.
Yeah. What's your, without giving any secrets away, what's your offense and defense? Like, what's your offensive philosophy? Run, pass, whatever. Do you go to your strength or do you go to the defense's weakness?
To speak for Bob, I would just say we're a spread team. We want to run the ball. We rest our hat on running the ball, but we're not going to run into a brick wall.
Sure.
We got good receivers. We got a guy that can sling it a little bit. We're not afraid to throw. But at the end of the day, you look at the box score. We want to have Bill 50 rushing, and we know we had a good night.
Yeah. So do you change your offense to match your personnel, or do you make your personnel match your philosophy?
I would say we're blessed to be able to match the philosophy.
Okay.
I would say if we needed to, Bob's going to match personnel. I mean, that's what a good coach does, is kind of moves those pieces correctly. But I think our personnel actually fits his philosophy of, hey, we want to run the ball, we want to spread you out, put you in tough situations, put guys in conflict, and man, he's got those linemen pulling and down blocking, kicking out, all the good stuff. So
Yeah.
it's fun to watch.
And then what about on defense? What do you play on defense?
Well, he plays outside linebacker. We play a 4-2-5.
Okay.
It's kind of what our base is. But I would say we're more of a we do more of fit guys or a scheme based on the personnel on the defensive side. I've always kind of coached my defensive years have been in a 4-2-5. So that's what we're doing this year, and we're taking some lumps as we learn it. But we've got a lot of good DBs. He's a good hybrid linebacker, outside guy. So I think it fits what we'd like to do. And man, this league, they throw the ball a lot more than prior leagues. So we're still trying to work through figuring out the best pass defense, So it's but it's early in the season too. That's why it's fun.
So do you have the chance to scout? Do you get game film, or are you just kind of figuring it out on the fly? Like, is your scouting the first quarter?
Well, yeah, a little bit of both. We do get game film. Our every team in our league has Huddle, which is like an online film database.
Okay.
So if a team films and wants to exchange, that makes it really easy. And I've got a decent relationship with a handful of coaches, so we get game film. But there's always times when you're scouting on the fly because, like for instance, this team in Columbus, they played in Ohio last game, and then they had to drive 3.5 hours this last week, so they didn't have their full team. You got to kind of see who do they have, what are they looking to do.
That makes sense
in that first quarter.
Yeah, like you said, the first week you didn't have the same quarterback that you had the second week. You had to make some changes on the fly.
Oh yeah.
So Hunter, he said our RTDB. So he's a big fan of run the damn ball. That's Hunter's philosophy.
Yeah, our linemen they're all in on the running.
Yeah,
they should be, man. They're doing great. It's fun to see.
That's funny. Tim Callahan basically has the same philosophy.
Oh yeah, he's a big boy. He's a lineman, no doubt about it.
What do the uniforms look like?
So we use provider is Grindhard Performance. They're out of Indianapolis.
Okay.
He does a lot of. He's actually fairly new, only his second or third year doing it, but delivers a pretty good product. So we wore gray recently at home. Get into the logistics another time, but we've got a gray on gray and a black on black.
Okay.
And the guys love them, and we love that too because hey, we want it to be a great experience, look good, play good, that type of thing. So. Yeah, I think everybody agrees that everybody loves the uniforms, which is nice.
So is that the picture there that his profile picture? I'm sure that's it.
Yes, that's the black ones. Yep,
with the red numbers and yeah,
absolutely.
And he comes all the way from St. Louis.
Oh no, that particular guy, he comes from Greencastle, Indiana.
Okay.
He's I think he just recently moved into Greencastle.
Okay. So does it get hot in the summer, June, July? Playing on turf field.
Oh yeah, the guy still wanted black though.
Yeah.
That's honestly why we went with the gray on gray. Last year we mainly only had black, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and this year we went ahead and grabbed the second set so we could have that lighter color. The home team decides though.
Okay.
So you got to kind of play off whatever the home team wears.
And I'm assuming they communicate that early in the week and tell you what they're going to do and all that stuff.
Yeah, for the most part.
So you said you play at Martinsville, but are game times at noon? Or are they evening games, or what? Or does it vary based on travel?
Yeah, last week we kicked off at 7. We've kicked around kicking off at 6, but part of that experience thing, we like the second half to be under the lights.
Yeah,
something about that. So we like to kick off at night. There are teams, if you don't have lights, that'll kick off anywhere from, I think it's noon to 3. Noon's the earliest you can kick, I think. Might even be later.
I think it might be later because you have to give teams a certain amount of time depending on where they're coming from.
Sure.
So I think the earliest you can start a game is 3.
That sounds right. But most of our kickoffs are 6 or 7 Eastern.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with you. There's something about playing under the lights. It's just different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It makes it kind of more official, or it's just, I don't know. It's just
and it gives. I mean, all our guys have jobs. A good handful of them work Saturdays, so it gives those guys a chance to make it to the game as well.
That's a good point. You can still work till 2:30, 3 o'clock, get off, still make it to the game in time. Yeah.
Some of them work till 5.
Yeah,
really?
Show up when they can.
That's funny.
So obviously we want everybody there early, but we also got to be flexible because they got to have gas money to get there. So
sure,
hard to tell them not to go to work.
Yeah, and probably got to work a double shift to get to Ford gas now, but
most definitely
that's a different show. That's a different subject. I saw it drop today though. It went from 525 down to 521. So
there we go.
So
Nice.
that's good. Yeah.
There we go.
So so how many games? You said you played 10 games. Is that right?
10 total. Yeah, 10 total regular season.
And then the playoffs, and you have to qualify for playoffs, or everyone makes it.
Have to qualify.
Okay. And how many teams are in the league?
11 teams. There's 6 on the other side, 5 on our side. We got to be top 4 of 5 to get in the playoffs.
To make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Okay. And then best record host.
Yep. I believe it's reseeded based on the records and everything. It's because of the odd number of teams. That's one thing that's not like the NFL. It doesn't matter if you win your division or whatever. It's just records against your side.
Okay.
So yeah, top 4 will be the top 4 seeds.
And then what's the championship game called? Is it?
It's just the championship game.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if they have a name for it or not. That one cool thing about this league too is they have a really good presence. So they have a YouTube channel, BCFL YouTube channel.
Nice.
Catch a lot of highlights and different things, and then they've got their website they keep up to date as much as they can.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if week 2 stats are up there yet or not, but I know week 1 stats are, and their week 2 stats will be up soon. So.
And it's the BCFL Blue Collar Football League,
Mm-hmm.
so you can search that on YouTube and find game films.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
And entire games are uploaded.
It depends. That's usually up to the team.
Okay.
But the league puts together a recap. So
nice.
We send the league game film. They a lot of times they actually statted our week 1 film, and we're supposed to stat week 2 for us. So that way it's kind of again fair across the league. You know, I'm not giving Land 25 tackles. You know, on the website, the league looks at that stuff. So
yeah.
And that's fun. It keeps it competitive too. You know, guys want to see stat leaders and different things. That makes it fun.
Sure. Hunter D, you should probably put the link on the Porch Time page and get that out to people. If there's a highlight page and a stat page, you could post it on Porch Time and get that out for people to follow, make it easy for them to find.
You search BCFL semi-pro football, the website will come up.
Okay.
And then on the website, the YouTube's embedded in the website. So if you get to the website, you can then get to the YouTube channel.
Okay. Yeah. So you've played 2 games so far.
Mm-hmm.
So how'd you do the first game?
22-6 win. We've got to win the first game.
And who'd you play and where?
We played the Kentucky Cardinals. They're down in Bardstown, Kentucky.
Okay.
And that's actually we played them twice. They're on our side as well. So they're coming to Martinsville a week from this Saturday.
Okay.
We're playing them again, but yeah, real solid team, a solid organization down there.
And then what'd you say? 22-6. You beat them.
Mm-hmm.
And then you played last week as well.
Yep.
And how'd that go?
That was a wild one. We lost 38-36.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we actually offense got it down there, got the tying touchdown, but we just didn't get the 2 point.
You went for 2.
Yeah.
Or you had to apparently.
Yeah, we were down 14, missed the extra point going in. You know, when we got our first touchdown to get up there, and yeah, we had to go for 2 to try to get it, and just didn't get it. Then a decent onside kick, didn't get the onside kick.
Did you have a chance for it, or
it bounced right to him?
Yeah.
It went 10 yards. It was doing what it was supposed to, but it bounced right to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's Hunter saying? Might be able to hear. Oh, I gotcha. Home game.
The concert's going on the same time the game is.
Oh.
That's why I was like, somebody needs to switch that because there's a Trace Adkins concert a quarter mile from you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
A week from Saturday?
18th or whatever.
Yeah.
Is that the right date?
Yep.
So you play this weekend?
No, we're gonna buy this weekend.
Okay.
Yeah.
You like having the early bye?
I'll let you know in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Having a bye in semi-pro is tough because with time, you know, life gets in the way, so things change. We had an off week or 2 between the other 2 games, hence different quarterback, different guys out there.
Yeah.
So you know so we also played a physical game, so I know some guys are looking to heal up and take that week to get get fresh.
Yeah, I didn't think about it, but you probably got guys on summer vacation with family vacations, June, July. You know, when's the season? How long does the season go? When's the last? Would be middle of August.
Yeah, playoffs start middle of August, and the championship game will be the weekend after Labor Day.
Okay.
Yeah, first week, I guess second weekend in September.
Yeah, so you could have guys taking family vacations and
All kinds of things come up.
Yeah,
no doubt.
And that actually probably cost them 2 games because it's the Saturday before and the Saturday on the end, so they could essentially miss 2 games.
Yeah, you never know, but that's a big thing. We just try to communicate to all our players as far in advance as we can, so they can hopefully work plans around
schedule. Yeah. And you said you have 53 guys, right? And that's the league max. So right now you said you're at what, 65?
Oh, we've got about, it's gone down a couple. We've got about 62 guys that want to be on the 53-man roster.
Okay.
Yeah.
So hard to make cuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is and it isn't.
Yeah.
We don't really have a choice, so we got to do it. But we made a cut or 2 going into this last week to kind of trim it down already, and it definitely wasn't easy. But hey, it's a good problem to have. We've got more players than we're supposed to have, so we get to keep the best 53.
Yeah, and it breeds competition.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, if you only had 45 guys going out, everybody knows they're going to make the team, and they do whatever, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. The same thing if you only have 5 offensive linemen. You know, those guys are the guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're blessed to have some depth this year, which is awesome.
So how many? So take me through. Like, you got 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah, we have at the moment we have 3 quarterbacks and an additional 2 that could fill in an emergency, maybe a wildcat situation. You know, we'll see. We'll see in 2 weeks. You know, we haven't made final cuts yet, but that's the number right now.
And then how many running backs?
We probably got. I mean, if I really had to say, hey, who all do we trust at running back? We honestly probably have 6. We lost one of our running backs week 1. He wasn't a starter, but he was some good depth. He MCL. So we lost him, but we've got about 5 or 6 guys. We have 2 main running backs that have been our main running backs for the last 3 years, and then we have a handful of guys that are good depth behind them.
And then wide receivers.
Kind of the same thing. We've got. I mean, I bet we've got 8 or 9 guys that could play. But our system mainly is 3 receivers in at a time. So we usually play 5 to 6 guys.
And any running backs and wide receivers interchangeable? I'm sure there's a couple guys that could play either.
Yeah, one or 2 guys could. Yeah. Absolutely. Again, that's more so what Bob wants to do, and we haven't done that a ton yet because we haven't had to. We've got enough receivers to handle it, and running backs can keep each other fresh.
I gotcha. And then what about O-linemen?
You know, I would say we've probably, between O and D line, we've got 12 to 14 guys, which is a big number for this league, for semi-pro in general. 8 maybe offensive linemen, 9. You know, we've got some starting D linemen that can go be good depth on the O line. So it kind of, you know, you hit that fence there.
Do you have any that play both ways?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Man.
We've got, I would say, well, we've got probably 6 guys capable of doing it, have the skills to do it, but only 1 or 2 guys actually make the cut to be able to do it. Yeah.
And then how many linebackers?
So we've got 5.
I was gonna say 5 or 6.
Yeah, 5 or 6.
5 or 6.
4, 2, 5. Yeah. We've got 2 main inside backers, and then we've got like hybrid guys on the outside. So you know, like he could be called a DB pretty easily. Yeah, we've got 4 to 5 guys at the most we trust in the middle.
You think quarterback's the hardest position in all the sports?
Oh yeah.
With all the reads and knowing, because doesn't the quarterback have to know what everybody's responsibilities are?
Yeah, in a perfect world, yeah.
Yeah.
The hardest thing about the quarterback position, I think, is just the mental aspect. I mean, you know, not only is our 11 guys trying to get their licks on you, you got to have the 10 guys in the huddle trust you. You got to have the playbook memorized, like you said, for multiple positions. Then you still got to catch the snap, execute. I mean, it's easier said than done.
You got to stand in the pocket while guys, you know, and make that throw, and knowing that you're going to take a shot. And what's the hardest position about linebacker? Just is it reading or covering?
I think it just depends on what linebacker you're talking about. Like for me, playing outside, you're responsible for run and pass because you're kind of out there. So that's kind of tough. But inside, you know, you're just pretty much downhill. You got these big linemen after you. You got to take on these big linemen every play. You know, read through the guard or tackle depending on where you're playing, and make a play. So
inside, you can just kind of ball chase, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you just go with the flow and find the ball and
be a bulldozer. But yeah, I mean, they all take. I mean, we have a lot of scheme for semi-pro. Coach Anderson puts together a great game plan, so we have a lot of scheme for semi-pro. We have several coverages, several blitzes, and it's not really elementary. It's pretty complex stuff. So everybody's got to be on the same page. If you're not on the same page, it kind of shows up on film. So we have growing pains, of course. It's semi-pro, but when we get it all together, we'll be pretty formidable.
And when you do practice, you probably don't have probably not everyone is at practice all the time, or do you have people?
No, you're exactly right.
Yeah.
Early in the season, our threshold was 30. You know, let's get 30 guys there. We can get some scrimmaging in if we want. We can platoon O and D. We've recently kind of bumped that number to 40. It's kind of our number now. We got 53 guys. Hopefully 20 guys aren't missing, you know. So, you get the most done with who shows up, though. I mean, not in a couple years, but I And we've executed a practice with 12 guys, you know, and got better. So you just do what you can with what you got.
And tell me if I'm wrong about this, but I would think that conditioning is on your own time. You got to handle that, and then more X's and O's. Practice is probably more X's and O's than it is technique, or do you think it's
fair? That's fair. You try to get those fundamentals in. We were just talking earlier. I mean, D's going back to some fundamental work this week at practice, no doubt about it. But I try to, now that we have more coaches, we've got Bob, we've got Coach Martin, got another coach that kind of goes back and forth, Coach Ponce. I try to I just try to keep the guys busy for 2 hours, you know, whether that's running off to the sideline or running in between drills. And we try to fill the 2 hours with as much football as we can. And if you keep it moving, then guys are generally kind of getting that conditioning in.
They stay engaged. They stay, and then you can get the conditioning, I used to coach little kids basketball, and no one likes just to run. So
Right.
we would call it hiding the conditioning, and we would do dribbling drills. We would do full court lay, and so they're getting the conditioning, but they don't realize that we're not just making them run line to line, because no one likes that, and that feels more like punishment than anything, you know.
That's that psychological part. You got to be creative, and you know, and some guys do, because what I try to get the team to understand is that, hey, if you want to do it, we're going to invest into it. Sometimes that means working on your own.
Yeah.
A lot of times that means working on your own. And then when we're in practice, if we need to run, we need to run. So, you know, I try not to put the punishment spin on it. We do push-ups for punishment, though. You know, you jump off sides, you make a mistake. You watch one of our practices, you'll just randomly see a guy dropping push-ups on his own.
That's funny.
It's good stuff.
That's funny. So take me through the who you got coming up next. You're 1-1 right now. You got a bye week coming up, and then you're at home in Martinsville on June 18th.
Yes.
Yeah. So who do you got then?
So it'd be the team we played week 1. It's the Kentucky Cardinals.
Okay.
They actually came with us. Well, not with us, but they decided to move leagues as well. They were in our league last year, the different league. So we lost to them last year in Bardstown. This year we went to Bardstown week 1 and beat them. It's 22-6, but if you watched the game film, it was actually a pretty close game. They had a few plays. If they make them, you know, it's a lot closer game. So, you know, that's one thing. That's our challenge is, you know, we got 2 weeks to get ready. They're well coached too. I don't know who all is going to travel for them, but we're expecting a pretty competitive game.
Yeah. And that's 7 o'clock.
We were actually toying around with moving it to 6, but that's not confirmed yet. Right now, it's kicking at 7.
7. Okay. And then where do you go after that? Take me through kind of the rest of your schedule.
So after let me grab that schedule. After the Cardinals, we have the Buccaneers coming to town. The Buccaneers they won this league last year.
Okay.
So defending champs coming to town. And then I'm kind of one track mind, so I'm gonna have to look at my schedule here. But
understandable.
Do you know?
Well, we'll have a bye after that.
Hunter?
Hunter D.
We'll have
the holiday bye.
Yeah, the holiday bye.
You know stuff. How are you?
So
Look who just rolled in here.
You guys gonna sing some karaoke?
Mm-hmm.
Huh? No, we didn't say no.
yeah, but if they get to that website, our schedule's also on the website.
The schedule's on the website.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. And you have a Cutter's website that's.
Yeah. So from that BCFL website, if you go to teams, you'll find our website there.
And then it's linked in there.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, I couldn't tell you the name. It's,
sure.
There's a long URL.
Yeah, because
we got a really good following on Facebook as well as Instagram. And you can also it's Indiana Cutters Facebook. It's Indiana Cutters Official is where you want to find us on Facebook, and then at Cutters Football on Instagram. We do a lot of content there.
Okay. Yeah, and then Hunter, you're gonna try to get some of that linked to Porch Time. Yeah. So
right now.
Yeah, so that'll be a good outlet for people to find.
Yeah.
To find you. So.
Yeah, if anybody, any Martinsville alumni, we recently put out a drone video of the high school football field.
Nice.
Our media guy did a really good job putting that together, so you can find that on our Indiana Cutters official football page on Facebook.
Okay.
And Instagram as well, but
right on.
pretty interesting content for the local crowd.
So you think they run the damn ball? You think?
Always.
All right, I got the schedule here. So we've got the Cardinals, then the Buccaneers. Then we're on the holiday bye.
Be 4th of July.
Yeah, the 4th of July bye, and we come back with the. Gosh, I can't get over there. I thought I had it, and I was looking at a picture. I couldn't open it here, but the last 4 games are a team from Ohio, the Southern Ohio Blaze. They're from Cincinnati as well, and then the Indianapolis Tornadoes, which is kind of a rival of ours since they're so close.
Yeah, and I think Bob did he. I think maybe he may have.
He did definitely coach them.
I think he coached
At
them
least
for a
a
while.
year.
Yeah,
Well, it was several years, I think, because I played against him,
really.
and Bob was the coach
That's funny.
at Martinsville.
Yeah. So they moved up. They were already in the league, or they moved up with you.
Kind of the same thing as the Cardinals. They came over as well.
Well, with
Yeah.
you, yeah. So you know a lot of those. You know a lot of the guys on that team.
Oh yeah,
And what's the saying? Familiarity breeds contempt. So
you could say that.
yeah,
Yeah, we've had a lot of good football games against those guys over the last handful of years, so that's helped as well. You know, it's typically close, and they actually knocked us out of the playoffs last year.
last year. Okay.
Adds a little fuel to the fire, of course.
Where do they play?
Freedom Park in Greenwood, I think, is where they're playing this year.
I think they just changed their field to Indiana School of Deaf.
Okay, so we'll let you know in a couple weeks where they play. I
Yeah.
guess
That's interesting.
it's you know, like I said earlier, it's easier said than done to get fields sometimes.
Sure.
You know, they get high schools and different things we're just blessed to be able to utilize Martinsville.
Yeah. So talk about Kip a little bit. You contacted him, and he was? Tell me how that relationship came about.
Actually, Seth kind of spurned that relationship a couple years ago. We just reached out to him. I remember me and him went in and met with Kip at the high school there, and told him what we were about, and he was open to it. And we donate a little bit of money to the football. Well, I should say the athletic department,
Yeah.
to be able to utilize it. But I think Kip's he's an athletic director. He loves sports, so it
Yeah.
didn't take too much convincing.
Yeah.
He had to go convince school board and other people, but he did that for us. And then, so 2 years ago, for whatever reason, it wasn't going to work out at Martinsville, so we played at Danville High School
Okay.
last year. But then we were able to get it back and come back this year, which has been real exciting.
You rather play on turf or natural grass?
Grass. I would rather play on grass. There's a lot of I've seen
I
a
would
lot
rather
of
play on grass.
seen a lot of injuries on turf that are pretty gruesome.
Career ending.
Oh yeah, especially for semi-pro men. But obviously the turf's fun too. When I was playing back in the day, turf all day. But yeah, if I had it my way, we'd be on grass.
Hunter, what's your preference?
Like turf.
Yeah.
I've always
Why?
played I don't know. I've always played at Martinsville. So, MJFL to middle school to high school. Always played on it.
Seth, what do you think? What do you prefer?
I prefer a nice grass,
Yeah.
like it well taken.
Like a golf course almost. So, tell me your thoughts on this. So, I know Kevin's feelings on this. So we have the middle school. It's an old field. It's probably 75, 80 years old. And our Little League used to play there for years and years and years. And you never got to play on the high school field until you got to play on the high school field. Now the Little League is at the high school field, and so they grow up playing there.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? I think it should be special when you get
You
to high
got to
school.
earn that right to get on that field, and that's you go through all junior league to get there. And now they don't; they just all play on there.
What do you
Yeah.
think about that?
We actually played on that field, on
Yeah.
the junior high field.
At
Yeah.
West,
Yeah,
Yeah.
for you. Yeah.
that's awesome. Over
Yeah.
there, though. That's
Yeah,
some old
it's not
memories.
bad. We
I seen Mark Clayton light us up over there from Cathedral when he went to. We were Mark Clayton from Marino days.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He put about 7 touchdowns up one night there.
So the rite of passage. So my high school, I went to South Putnam High School.
Okay.
Graduated there in 2001.
Hmm.
Our youth league,
I was in the second grade.
our youth league, we got to play on the high school field.
Okay.
But there was multiple other rite of passages throughout that time. Whether it's youth, junior high, or high school. We were Eagles, so we called it getting your wings. And our coaches every year, all past wings were ripped off. you had to survive 2-a-days, 3-a-days, whatever we were doing back then, and you kind of earned your wings that way. And that was kind of cool. Mark Wildman was our coach back then, and you would actually, you wouldn't get your helmet decals until you survived, and then we had a little ceremony to put your wings on, which was cool.
They still do the park? You still practice at the park, or is that too harsh now?
So my senior year, we haven't done that at all, but senior year, we got in trouble one time with Blitzen at practice, and he called it early and was like, you know what, you seniors, figure out what you want to do, because I'm gone. So we just ended up going. But we actually ran to the park, ran up the hill and back, and ran all the way back to the school. So that's the only time I've ever really had to do that.
So our kind of our rite of passage here, our city park has got this giant hill, and so you used to have, that's where 2-a-days would just be helmets and shoulder pads, and you practiced on there was a softball field at the time, and so you had practice there, but you had to run up this hill and do it several times, and some guys would run to the top and lay down in the weeds and not come back down, and so
skip a lap or
two, yeah. So
It's when the fight started, though.
Kids.
yeah, because
I never think of that.
yeah, because
I don't think you're hiding anywhere, Seth.
You put on a pretty good heist a couple weeks ago.
so
Forgetting your pads.
they would say run the hill twice, and so everybody would go up and the guys would lay down, then they would come down, they'd say, oh, once is enough. Then you turn around, you're missing 14, 15 guys. We're like, where? So then you'd have to run it 4 or 5 times, and then like Kevin said, that's when the fights would start, because guys would get everybody else in trouble, and you have to start, so
Sure.
So yeah,
That's a good one.
yeah, I think you described it good as a rite of passage. So 10 games, you're 2 games in, got 8 left with 2 essentially bye weeks left because you'll have a holiday break.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't think about that, but yeah, so you kind of get an extra bye week kind of put in there, which is probably nice.
What I love about it is, everybody still wants to have time to enjoy a summer.
Sure.
So you got that 4th of July weekend, you got Labor Day weekend, you have just had Memorial Day. So the league gives all those big holidays off. I like that.
Yeah.
Then we got an extra bye this year, and that's nice coming up.
Yeah.
My wife's birthday is this weekend, so I got lucky and she got lucky. So we're gonna do a little something.
So, is your wife a football fan?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
She's a football fan, absolutely.
So she was before, or she's morphed into that?
Oh, she's always been a football fan. Her uncle is Mo Moriarty.
Oh, okay.
You may know him.
Yeah, we had him on the show.
So she grew up at.
She from here?
She's from
Southport, maybe.
Her family's from here. Family's from Bedford and generally the area, not Martinsville, but generally like the southern Indiana area. But no, she went to Greencastle and then went to South Putnam and eventually went to Culver Military School. But no, she's been to a ton of Carnival games, IU games. When he was at IU, she was at IU. So she's always been a huge football fan. And
did you play for Mo in high school? Okay.
No. I went to a little town. I'm from a little town called French Lick.
So, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Are you the most famous person from French Lick?
Absolutely not. Maybe second, though.
Probably.
He did play basketball with that guy.
Yeah.
Jeez. Not that old.
That's brutal.
Yeah, it was kind of a shot from the cheap seats there.
Yeah.
You meant Eddie Bird, not Larry.
Yeah, Eddie Bird.
Yeah.
So Springs Valley?
Yeah.
Is that where you went to high
Yeah.
school?
Yeah.
It's about population 7, isn't it, down there?
1A.
Pretty much.
1A.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then, how far do you guys have to travel? I mean, to play are there a lot of 1? I would assume.
I mean, the PLAC was like Perry Central, Mitchell, Paoli.
I was gonna say Mitchell,
those
Paoli,
schools,
yeah.
Those schools. Crawford County didn't have football, but they're now have football. But we traveled to Brownstown. We traveled to Linton. That was far.
Yeah. That's where Bob actually grew up when he was, I won't say little, I'll say when he was younger.
Yeah.
That's where he was. He came from Linton to here. So so how big is like the whole school dedicated to Larry, or is
sadly enough, a lot of the younger generation, they don't really know who he is.
Really?
It's crazy to me that they don't know who Larry Bird is.
Yeah.
But you go in the gym and there's his picture, there's his jerseys. It's Larry Bird court.
Yeah.
and they really don't know the history behind it. So
Yeah.
it's a little sad, but the town overall is definitely all about it. Larry Bird.
Has the casino helped?
It's probably hurt.
Really? I
Yeah.
see. That's where I was going to kind
It's
of
probably hurt because when I was in high school, there was no casino, and we had a lot more, school, Larry Bird, and now we get all these people from out of town kind of water everything down.
almost tourist almost.
Right. Yeah.
And then Patoka's what 20 minutes away.
Not even.
Yeah. So
Yeah. So.
yeah. That's interesting. So okay, so you've got 8 games left.
Mm-hmm.
And how are you injury wise? Have you lost anybody so far?
Yeah, well, we lost the running back we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
The first quarterback we had talked about, he's out because of injury. We didn't lose anybody this last week, but at least 2. I'm trying to remember. And we lost Mr. Baleen.
Jeremy.
Yeah, we lost him before the season even started. So those are the 3 main injuries, the 2 quarterbacks and the running back that I can think of off the top of my head. But hey, we got guys. It's football. We got guys playing hurt too.
Yeah. That's kind of why I've always thought that's the reason behind 53 guys on a roster, right? I mean, the NFL on it just because you got to survive so many injuries, right?
Yeah, and this, I mean, when it locks, it locks. It locks the 18th after our next game. The night of the 18th, it locks. So there's no injured reserve or free agents or anything. I mean, it's over.
So you got 53 guys and 3 guys get hurt. Now you got 50 guys.
Yes, sir.
And 2 more get hurt. Now you got 48. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
That's interesting. Yeah.
It's a battle of attrition, in 2 weeks.
So you guys move between, like, if you cut some guys, will they go to the Tornadoes, or will cuts be too late and they won't have time to?
In that situation, it would be too late.
Yeah.
But early in the season, that happens from time to time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on. Hunter, you got anything? Like and share. There you go.
Hold it
So-
closer to you.
Yeah. So I think we'll get some information out on the website.
Okay.
Get some
Awesome.
people interested.
I threw it out.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, it sounds like it's entertaining. It sounds like it's good football. It's it's like you said, it's a highly competitive, higher league. Yeah.
It's cheap too. $5 to get in, 12 and under free.
Okay, that's
Um,
good.
Did they have a food truck or anything?
We never were able to land a food truck for this game. We sold Gatorades and waters, kept everybody hydrated. But we had. I mean, I'll throw that out there. If someone does want to come, get into contact with us, we'll entertain that for
Man,
sure.
that's
Let's
a good-
talk to
that's-
Kit, but we'll entertain it for sure.
That's a good opportunity for somebody. You said there was what 100 and
There's
125
over
people.
100 people there. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it's what
100 fans. Yeah.
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 Okay.
So
Yeah.
and I believe it will grow week to week. That's kind of how our next 2 games are both home. So you get a chance to kind of make it to one of those. We could have more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, and they're hungry. We sold out of Gatorades and waters, and probably would have been the same thing for hot dogs or barbecue or whatever anybody's serving.
Man, if you had a guy there with a charcoal grill just cooking up hamburgers and hot dogs and stuff,
Huh, Dean?
yeah, that'd be
Come on over.
that'd be a good
Take
opportunity.
some baked potatoes, sir.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a killing.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, we'll get information out there and see if we can drum up some business.
That's
So,
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, and we invite everybody to come out. And even you guys, you want to
Yeah.
come catch a game, let us know. We'll take care of you. You can do a quick live if you want, whatever you want to do. I think you broadcasted the first game, right?
No, not
this year, but
We did quite a few the one year,
Yeah.
and then we were removed from the press box for a while,
gotcha. Yeah.
out of your hands.
Yeah.
But then the next home game you guys have will be a Cross With concert.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys, I'm sure, got events going on with that.
Yeah.
But we'll also be there the following week. So
When's the Buccaneers coming? Is that the second week?
yeah, 25th.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be.
That's-
I mean, this
You won't
game's
be there.
big. This upcoming game's big for sure. But like he was saying, I mean, there's not really a week off. So if you could just make it out to one of them, you're going to see a competitive football game
Good
most
football
likely.
game.
Yeah.
Does Woody Hayes Denton? Does he just go 3 yards at a cloud of dust every play, or is it just?
No, he doesn't. He actually surprises me. He likes to throw a little bit more than I would have thought. But
Throwing to the tight end over the middle in the past, though.
hey, we also hit him in the flat this week. Give him a break. We got him in the flat and in the seam. So
That's funny.
no, but you know what? When it's winning time, we were running that rock. There's no doubt about it. So Yeah, like I said, I'm letting Bob operate. I don't really have any complaints there, you know. So I've known of Bob for a while, but I've only known him since this year, and we're developing a pretty good working relationship. He's easy to get along with.
He's a good dude, and I mean, he's one of the most competitive people I've ever been around. So
You know,
He got in a fight on national TV at Michigan. That's all I'm saying.
when he was at Michigan State, did he win?
They ended up beating Michigan at Michigan that game.
No, I meant the fight.
It was in front of the Michigan bench, so no.
Okay.
It didn't say he was the smartest, but
You got to strategically bring that up. That's what it sounds like.
So Bob played they played Wisconsin in Tokyo. So Bob plays in the game in Tokyo. So my wife and I are sitting on the couch and we're flipping through channels, and it's on the Big Ten Network, and I flipped past it and I said, "Hey, wait a minute, that's the Tokyo game." I told her, "Hey, Bob played in that game." She goes, "Really?" I said, "Yeah." So we watch it for a few minutes, and Wisconsin has the ball, and I'm not really paying attention because Wisconsin's got the ball, and she goes, "Hey, there was Bob." And I said, "Bob played offense. He's not on the field." She goes, No, he was on the sideline." So I rewind it. There's a play on the sideline, and Bob's standing there yelling at the official, "Rah, rah, rah, rah." So I sent it to him, and I said, "Nothing's changed in 25 years." And I sent it to him, and he sent back the little emoji with the guy with his hands up.
That's
like
awesome.
that. Yeah, so I don't remember what happened, but the play came out of bounds, and Bob was standing on there holding his helmet in one hand and yelling at the official with the other hand. It was funny. So
Yeah, he got after the offense a little bit at halftime. So,
Yeah, he did.
but hey, we came out firing on all cylinders. So like I said, I let him operate, and
yeah,
I might have been in the other room getting on the defense a little.
That's
you know,
funny.
So
what was the score at halftime?
18-7, we were down 18-7.
And hadn't played well.
Yeah. I mean, we hadn't played well. I mean, we did good things. Don't get me wrong, but there were a lot of mental mistakes. I'm just speaking mostly for defense. Offense had a few hiccups as well, but a lot of mental mistakes. And I've watched the film now, so guys doing things that they, when they watched it, they probably didn't realize they were doing it. But,
yeah.
That's going to happen early on. But yeah, we tried to fix some of it at halftime and came back out, and we were in a shootout until the very end, until it hit 0.
Nice. So that's what I always think about football is it's like we come out and play the first series, and now I make an adjustment, and now you adjust to my adjustment, and now I adjust to your adjustment, and that essentially a lot of what it is just adjusting to everyone's adjustments?
I think yes, but a lot of it is mental.
Yeah.
Just execute your scheme. I mean, at the very beginning of the games, we have some space cadets. Sometimes they just, there's a crowd here. I'm playing football.
Oh.
Yeah, I forgot what cover 2 is.
Yeah.
Just that type of thing,
When the bullets start flying, things come up to the top. So,
what Mike Tyson say? Everyone has a plan
until you get punched in the face.
Till you get punched in the face.
Yep.
100%.
So, but you're exactly right. I mean, that's coaching, adjustments, and on the fly. And we don't really have press box coaches. We don't have headsets or anything.
Okay.
So a lot of it, it's hey, we're relying on players to give us feedback too, and trying to adjust off that.
Yeah. And that view, I never really thought about it until we did games from the press box. But that view from up there, right on. See you guys.
See you, man.
See you, Kev. See you guys.
Good night.
It shows a lot, doesn't it? From that vantage point from up top shows a lot.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially if you have someone up there that knows what to look for.
Yeah.
That's a huge advantage. Huge advantage. But we fight through that and make the most out of what we got.
And everyone's on the same page. I mean, it's not like the other teams have people up there and you don't. I mean, it's all the same. Yeah. I always think it's funny when the weather gets involved and they say, "Well, it's raining." Well, it's raining over there too.
Yeah.
I mean, I always think that's funny. Well, it's cold. Well, they're cold too. You know what I mean?
The mind's powerful. You just feed yourself the positive affirmations, and you can get through stuff like that. But you're exactly right. Woe is me is what I like to call that with my kids at home. They're all worried about just one person when, hey, look at the big picture. They're dealing with the same thing, like you said.
It's cold for them too. So, or hot, and I guess it would be more in your guys' case. So.
Yeah, rain and heat. Those are the two big ones.
Two big ones, yeah. Yeah, and I would imagine when you get both on the same day and it's muggy and 95% humidity, that's no fun.
Yeah, that's how I stay in shape in the summer is just walking up and down the sidelines, sweating it out.
That's funny.
Yeah, and these guys, I mean, I respect the players so much because your life gets busy because obviously we're not paying you, so you're doing a job, and we're still asking you to hydrate, be in shape, make it to practice. We've talked about gas prices.
Know the playbook.
Know
You got to know your job that puts food on the table, but then you got this extra responsibility that you got to know.
it's easier said than done, and
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, not everybody can do it. It's I always tell our guys, be blessed. You're getting an opportunity that millions of people would probably want. Even though it's semi-pro, there's for every guy that's playing, there's 10 guys that want to be.
I always get a kick out of people that say, well, those college athletes are getting a free education. Well, it's not free. There's a
No.
lot of stuff that you don't see. You turn the TV on from 7:30 to 9:30 and watch them, but you didn't see all summer when they were working out. You don't see them at 10 o'clock at night when they're, when you're at home asleep and they're working out, lifting weights, studying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That education is not free. It may be, you're paying for it in a different way.
Sure.
So
You're investing.
yeah. What do you think about this? Doesn't really have anything to do with the cutters, but what do you think about the NIL stuff? What do you guys think about that?
I think it takes away a little bit from, this is exactly what the pros are, right? I
Yeah.
mean, they're getting sponsorship, or whatever you want to call it. So, and then the other thing I don't like is the transfer portal.
Yeah.
So those two things I think are hurt the idea of college sports, but
Amateur athletics.
right?
Yeah.
But if it keeps them in college and not going to the NBA after their freshman year, then maybe it's a good thing overall. But I think it definitely hurts the college athlete as we once knew it.
No, yeah. And I don't like the transfer portal as it is now. I think the coaches and the schools had too much control in the old system, but I think now the players have. Like, you shouldn't be able to transfer 3 or 4. If you go someplace and it's not a good fit, it's too far from home.
Who's the basketball player kid from Butler to IU to Ohio State?
Yeah.
The big guy.
Yeah.
From Southport.
And the Cavs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was BS.
Yeah. I mean, so if you go someplace and it's a bad fit, Bob and I always disagree on this. He says get better. Well, it's not always that easy. If there's a kid from here, his name was Earl Hannaford, played quarterback, had every passing record in the books. He goes to IU. IU recruits a kid named Antoine Randall L. There's no getting better than him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you want to transfer out of that, I get that. I think that's. But when the kid, like Kevin said, when a kid transfers 3, 4 times, I think
Brunk.
Yeah, Joey Brunk.
Yeah.
Joey Brunk. I think they have too much. I think it's too lenient right now. I don't think you should penalize the kids. I think if a coach leaves, a kid should be able to transfer without penalty. I think if the kid leaves, he should get one free one if it didn't work. But you can't go somewhere, oh, I don't like it. Oh, I don't like it. Oh, I don't like it. Like, at some point, you got to do your homework and research it,
Yeah, that's my take on the NIL stuff too. Is I think they went to they're at the end of the spectrum. They went from zero to 100. And
Yeah.
I think eventually it'll correct itself, but in just the world we live in, coaches getting multi-million-dollar contracts, and you got 50 players or 60 players, whatever college rosters are. I mean, like you said, putting in all the work. I get it. Some of those big schools, they were getting paid anyway, though. So it's like,
The bad thing is that the systemic effect of all of it is going to be the programs in the schools that survive by what the football programs bring in could be cut, because boosters and alumni are going to pay these kids anyway. Now you're just going to open the door for cheating, unbelievable. But the programs that have to cover those kids, NIL or whatever it's called, NIL, that's going to take money that the football team normally makes, which they're making millions off of anyway.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And the kids never got. O'Bannon started it from UCLA, if you remember years ago. Now, these kids are going to get paid. That's going to cut programs from the schools. And sure, your choirs or whatever that don't draw any money, they could end up losing programs like that. I don't know what the happy medium is, but
Yeah.
But see, and I agree with the Ed O'Bennett. He was on the front of the Sega game or
Yeah,
whatever it
yeah.
was, and they had him. Well, he didn't get a penny of that.
nope.
Well, that's not fair to him to use
Yeah.
his picture and
They made
promote that.
millions.
Yeah, and there's and I think Notre Dame was the first football team that said the college game day or the whatever the game was, and they said you can't use Notre Dame's name, you can't use the ND logo, you can't use our school color. You can't infer that this is Notre Dame. You can't have a generic team in South Bend and try to sell it off as, you know what I mean, unless you're going to pay us.
Yeah.
And I agree with that too, even though it does kind of irritate me that they make enough money as it is.
Sure.
It's like the Ricketts, bought the Cubs and they had the rooftop seating across there. Well, they wanted those apartments to pay the Cubs money because they were watching a game, and they said
did.
no. So the Ricketts built a big video board to block their view so they can't. Come on, dude, man.
Yeah.
You don't make enough money and spend it poorly anyway. I mean,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the free market's an interesting thing
Yeah,
out there.
and
No doubt about it.
That's the thing,
That
though.
may be another show too.
Yeah.
I.e. Jason Hayward.
Yeah. So, well, I appreciate you guys coming in. I think it's been interesting, and I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Hey, we love it. We appreciate you guys having us and pubbing the team, and we love being here in Martinsville and being able to provide some entertainment for the community as well.
Yeah. So you said $5 to get in, 12 and under is free.
Correct.
Home games are at the high school, usually 7:00 on Saturdays.
Mm-hmm.
Hunter said he was going to put some information on Porch Time.
He already posted it.
Okay, good. So it's out there. It's a BCFL Blue Collar Football League, which has a website with updated stats and schedules. And then the Cutters have a Facebook page, right? Indiana Cutters Official.
Yeah, Indiana Cutters Football Official is the one you want to go to there. At Cutters Football on Instagram. And I was trying to see it. We've got a let me see if I can find it real quick. I'm trying to think of where I would see it. I think, is it our salute to service? Is that the next game?
I believe so, yeah.
Yes, yeah. So we're gonna
Yeah, Hunter said something about that.
we've got a salute to service game. So just we haven't finalized exactly what we're gonna do, but we're definitely gonna be, paying homage to the troops and anybody that serves any branch and all that stuff. So most likely, again, we haven't made an announcement yet, but you show a military ID, would probably get you in for free, that type of thing.
Kevin served his whole family.
DD 214s, remember that word? They get them in free because a lot of us don't have IDs anymore.
Okay. Well, we're not. I mean, unless our whole crowd served in the military, we're
There'd
not
be a
gonna...
bunch. The high school team did it, and I think there was 40 of us on the field that night.
Awesome.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love that. We have multiple people that have served. Some guys currently serving on the National Guard and whatnot on the team. We always do a salute to service game every year, so
Very important.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, we wouldn't be out here playing football without it.
Yeah, we'd be possibly. I mean, you think they have semi-pro football in Ukraine right now?
Yeah,
Probably not.
No.
Yeah.
it's definitely not a priority.
Yeah. That's the thing I think some people lose sight of. Like, I mean, I complained earlier about the gas prices, and it is outrageous. But we also live in the best country in the world where we have the freedom that nobody else has. I mean, tonight there's probably 15 professional baseball games with 30,000 people in the stands.
Yep.
But you know what I mean? And nobody else has that. I mean, most of the rest of the world has soccer, but it doesn't make sense and it's unentertaining. It's confined cross country in a
We
box.
agreed on this 1,000 times.
So-
That's cross country in the box.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just got to be blessed, and the way life is and the world is. If you're going around being mad about your situation, we could probably up you a situation somewhere else.
Yeah, for sure. So, all right. Well, I appreciate you guys coming in. We'll
Our pleasure.
yeah, we'll stay in touch with this and keep making updates on the page, on the Porch Time page, and get some
Okay,
information out there. And it'd be good to get a good crowd out there a couple of times. So, what, 5 home games?
Yep, we got 4 left.
4 left. Okay,
Mhm. And then hopefully we get to host a playoff game.
that'd be
We'll
good.
see. Obviously a lot of season left to be able to determine that. But,
Yeah.
it'd be awesome to host one.
So this guy, Billy Owens, he was going to be one of the.
He played for Syracuse.
He was one of the leading running backs when we were growing up, and he broke his leg in, I think, 5th grade and never played again.
Oh, dang.
He blames it on a missed block, but
I was going to put D missed his block.
but I don't think I think it was on the other side. He blames me for missing a block and got his leg broke. But
that's a long time grudge there.
Yeah.
5th grade. Wow.
Yeah. I was throwing it out there for him to comment on it, but that's our running joke for the last however many years that I missed a block and it caused him to break his leg, but it's not true.
Right.
Yeah. He tripped over the 5-yard line and fell and broke his legs.
Turf monster.
Yeah.
His kangaroo's string broke.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, we'll like I said, we'll put some stuff on the website and keep information flowing and get it rolling.
Awesome. We really appreciate the publicity, and it's been fun chatting with you guys.
Yeah. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you, guys.
Our pleasure.
Yeah.